Hi guys, welcome back to Fishaholic. In today's video, I thought I'll take you through how to grow sweet potato in your aquarium. I've put together all the footage I've recorded in the last 2 months. This sweet potato will improve the water quality of the fish tank by absorbing all the nitrates. For those who doesn't know nitrates, then it's a byproduct of nitrogen cycle. And the other main benefit of the plant is the roots will make the fish feel more secure by providing hiding spots to the stressed fish and also the fry. Have fun watching this video and please do not forget to subscribe. This is the day one of this DIY project and I am at Gold Supermarket to buy gold sweet potatoes which are Australian grown. I'll use these disposable cups for this project, so I'll fill them with water and then add a couple of sweet potatoes in each cup. The reason I'm not adding the sweet potato straight to the aquarium is because I've been a bit busy, so I thought I'll just leave it in the cup, let it grow some roots and some leaves, and when the plant is a bit stable and I've got some time, then I can move it to the aquarium. So for the project I'll only use one sweet potato. The other three I'll just give it to my mates. I've decided to put both containers next to the window so it can get some winter sun, and that will help the sweet potato to grow roots and leaves a bit faster. After a week and a half, you can see the shoots are firing and the sweet potato is growing a really good root system. I did change the water. I tipped out the water that was in the container before and filled this with water from the aquarium, and at the same time I added some fish food and you can see it's slowly starting to decompose. That will provide enough nutrition for the plant to grow, and even if you don't want to do that step, don't worry too much about it because there's a lot of nutrients inside the sweet potato that will help the roots and leaves to grow. After 2.5 weeks, I moved my sweet potato from the old location, and the only reason is my kitten usually play around that area and I was a bit worried like she might tip the container, spill the water and eventually kill the sweet potato. But you can definitely see some progress. The root system is growing really well, and also the leaves. After keeping this sweet potato in this plastic cup for a month, finally I've decided to move it to the aquarium. To build a pot for the plant, I'm using this lid from a just normal bottle, and to attach this pot to the aquarium glass I'll use this suction cup. I'll cut a hole through this lid, and the idea is to push the sweet potato through this lid, and maybe 60 to 65% of the sweet potato will be underwater, and that will be the part that will keep growing root and develop a really good system, and the remaining part of the sweet potato will start growing some healthy leaves and stems. This is the plan for now, and let's see how I'm gonna execute this plan. I don't have any special tools to cut a hole in this bottle lid, that's why I'm just using scissors. When I've got some space to access the inside of it, then I'll switch to knife and we'll see how much more plastic can I cut off this. Seems like a bit easy at the moment because the plastic is not too thick, but the blade of the knife is really sharp, so it's helping me a lot. Just testing now to see if I have to widen up the gap a bit more. Seems like I don't have to do much anymore because that's how far I would ideally want to have the sweet potato under the water. Since that hole inside the lid has got a bit sharp edges and I'm afraid over time it might start damaging the sweet potato, which is why I decided to cut some styrofoam, and I can add that styrofoam inside. that will hold the sweet potato well, and also um, will stop the whole plant from sinking, because due to the styrofoam, it will start floating if the somehow the suction cups come loose, which is less likely to happen, but there's always a possibility it might happen. Cutting a styrofoam, in my experience, is always a messy job. Cutting is really easy as long as the blade is sharp, but the cleaning the mess is really hard. Attaching a suction cup to the lid is really easy. I'm gonna use the old school method of heating a nail on a stove or on fire, and use the sharp and hard end of the nail to cut through a hole through the lid. Finally, it's time for me to add this sweet potato to the tank. But before I do that, I'll loosen up the roots because it's been in that plastic cup for almost a month. And you can see the roots are all bunched up. And this is the technique people use when they buy plants in a pot. Before they're repotted or put in the ground, they always loosen up the roots so they can start going in different direction and start getting healthier and build their healthy root system. As you can see, I've got some other aquatic plants in this tank as well. So I've got some Java fern, Amazon frogbit, and a Anubias plant that's growing well on the driftwood. There's some Java moss growing on the driftwood too. But this plant will be a really great addition to this aquarium because it has got the healthiest root system, and obviously any plant that's got really healthy roots will absorb heaps of nitrates and will keep the water quality really good, which is obviously good for the fish and the whole ecosystem in this aquarium. And for some reason I'm struggling to keep the roots down, like it's floating, and you can see it's almost reaching the surface of the water. Anyways, the fish seems happy or curious to see what I've just added to their home. I can see some of them are hanging around this plant. I believe it's 4 of the guppies. Yep, they're swimming around the plants. And I know over time, when the plant grows a bit and it has got heaps of roots, they will absolutely love this plant.